Y'all, back here on YouTube, Hamin Media Group and Bin Hamin Channel Infidels. That's right, I said it, Hamin Media Group, Ray. And we're here to break it down because we're hard to kill. But now Big Ray earned because he's righteous. I feel great. So maybe we might just search for a 9 to 5. Never infidels. Those are mark hours. It's 18 hours a day here at Hamin Media Group. And that's right, Ray. We're back again, infidels. It's Big Ray Hacker. I mean, the Impact Attack. YOLO. Good morning, infidels. We're up and at it already on a big day here at HMG with the launch of Stevie Ray TV. Hoping you guys will join us on Twitch. Well, not at Hamin Media Group or Conspiracy Horseman just yet, but over at Stevie Ray TV, a great channel. Subscribe to the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, Stevie Ray TV on Twitter as well, and obviously the Patreon.com just dropped a huge interview, a rare get, but it's Stevie Ray and JBL for our first interview up there, and there's more in the queue ready to go. We're going to drop the Sonny Ono show with him as well today, and man, it's just a great day to launch. And we've been working hard behind the scenes. Rick Vickery, MSG, myself, everybody, manning everything that's going on for the daily stuff to pick up the slack. So we're just pushing, yeah. And last night was fun. SmackDown Live was Impact Watch Along. But in the background, we had a very special guest, Kay Fabian, just watching along as she's trying to get ideas about maybe starting her own thing, her own podcast. The NWA Women's Champ was in the house last night.
Very cool.
Hanging and banging, and it was a good time, man. We had a great time. I'm looking forward today. Interesting show last night, Ray, on Impact. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Doing pretty good. I got to tell you something. I had a really great day last night. Really great night last day, whatever the hell you call it. Yeah, you know, it's been a good week for me personally. I don't know if you noticed, but on social media, I had posted a couple of cool things. I had one of the residents of my building. He's been published several times by, he's a New York Times bestseller. He's an author, really awesome guy. So over the last year or so, well, he's been writing this book for, I think, 3 years. But over the last year, he would come down to the lobby and we would just talk for like an hour and a half. And the book that he's writing is about the power of speech and, like the ability to be able to persuade people through charisma and just even your tone and the way you speak and how your voice sounds and stuff like that, how it can persuade. It seems like your gears are turning.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm just trying to think worker-wise, and your voice too. I'm sure that's why you'd want to talk to a personality like you and get opinions, because we do have influence over each other in the community. And for some reason, when you're behind the mic and on camera in people's eyes, that makes you more important until you're on the mic and behind the camera and or on camera, then you go, I'm no more important than anybody else. But perception in this fame culture is the reality. So do we have power, and how do we wield it wisely? Do we do it to create a little revenue when we can? Sure, but I try and wield that to inspire others to be the greatest version of themselves that they can be. I think you do as well, man.
I appreciate it, and I learned from the best. Got working with guys.
Yeah, Apter's good, man. He's one of the best there ever was.
I was talking about you too, bro.
Oh, I'm all right.
Would you stop? But yeah, man. So what happened was when we were talking, I actually. At that time, we're talking about a year ago, we're talking about Donald Trump. And I'm like, well, Donald Trump did learn a lot of what he is doing now, in the wrestling world, working along with Vince McMahon, the WWE. And I started talking to him about Vince McMahon, and I started talking to him about Donald Trump. So anyway, he went down this whole diatribe and rabbit hole. And then on top of that, what he did was he reached out to Bill Apter as well. So Bill Apter also gets a mention in the book. And the book is This Is the Voice by John Colapento with a C. And dude, I'm so freaking stoked. This is the second time I've mentioned in the book, but
you're an influencer, man. Like you never know what double life people are leading. Like, I'm not trying to besmirch your job because it's a damn good one. But as a doorman in New York City, that's all some people might look at you as. They might not know that this guy is a larger than life personality with a whole knowledge in a genre that most people wouldn't even know the history of, let alone to be able to speak on it fluently week in and week out and get the reps in. So it's crazy. You never know what kind of life somebody, you might have a perception of them, but what they're really doing, you know?
Well, just so you know, Hamin Media Group gets because they list what you are, and so
yeah, wow, that's wonderful, man. Thank you.
We get a shout out there. Also, OneWrestling.com gives a shout out, but yo, so really quickly, so yesterday, so before Christmas, I was telling this story on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it. Also, this happened the same day. This young lady came to my building. So before Christmas, this young lady was walking. She ran into my lobby in tears, scared out of her mind, and it was crazy, man. She was being followed and chased, and somebody tried to rob her, basically. I couldn't get into specifics, but it is what it is now. Right. So long story short, she ran into the building. I'm like, what can I do to help you and shit? And she's like all like frozen, like a deer. And she's like, this guy is following me. This is what he looks like. And I'm thinking, the guy disappeared. The guy tries to come into my building.
I think I remember you telling me about this when it happened, actually.
Right. So long story short, I ended up having to get between her and the guy. I ended up having to, how can I put this without getting sued? I had to put him safely down.
You got to do what you got to do without being a vengeful motherfucker who's going to get sued in the building. Yeah, right? Like, you got to do what you got to do as security to handle the situation and what it calls for.
I put him down to a knee, and the guy left. Leave it like that, and I'm leaving. So anyway, so the really fucking cool thing is that this young lady comes back with her husband, and they came back. This is like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the husband comes. He's like, "Dude, can I hug you?" And he gave me a hug and stuff, and we exchanged information, and she gave me this awesome card, dude. And she said some really fucking cool things in it, and she gave me this nice fucking Hennessy bottle, bro.
Good, man.
Bro, nice Hennessy bottle with a silver gimmick that you could strain. We mix in drinks, and then she gave me this gift card. I'm not gonna say how much it is, but I love Starbucks. Russo brand coffee is way better, but it's right there.
Tough to get. Yeah. Starbucks everywhere in New York. Well, man, you're providing humanity for people in a city that can be damn hard, and not having friends, and then to be there at the right time to prevent a situation like, I don't believe in it, but you're very much believe in, God putting people in the spot at the right time. So that makes me equally happy that it fulfills what you believe in. You did a great thing, and then you did it for no reward, and months later you're pleasantly surprised, man. So that's all good on good, and also some scumbag got kicked in the nuts and dropped. That's fucking my favorite part of the fucking story. I mean, I could watch that all day on closed circuit TV.
Who said the guy was kicked?
Well, you know what I mean? I like to put it in my own head. I make my own fights. So, but we're here for Hard to Kill, the go home for Impact, man. But before we do that, Ray.
This is your Impact Attack 3 count. The 3 biggest pro wrestling or world news stories of the day. Now, back to Bin Hamin and Big Ray.
It's awesome.
It's rare that I hear the 3 count. Usually it's the submission for me, but once in a while I get the old school pin on them. Yeah.
Dude, big shout out to Rick Vickery. I reached out, I said, Rick, I don't want to hear my own voice, on this 3 count. I want somebody epic. And dude, I messaged Rick Vickery, and I'm like, can you get me a soundbite? You got it right away. Boom.
Dude, last night he's working on great graphics for Stevie Ray TV Patreon on the tiers. They came out excellent. We just had some placeholders in there. He's doing excellent work this week. And he did, dude, coming off of the Hammy Awards, where he put all that together in 12 days, hosted it, did a phenomenal job. I know you're upset about, hey, it's nice to be nominated, but as we go through, congrats to all the winners. But again, Rick Vickery right here at the end of the year, really stepping up in many, many ways. And another guy in 2020 where everybody else is getting their shit kicked in by life, leveled up and went to the next level in his professional career as well, man. So just really hitting on all cylinders right now at Hamin Media Group. All the producers that we started with, everybody is becoming an executive producer, and it takes that 10,000 hour rule. It takes the 3-4 years daily repetition to get to that point. And now from a labor of love, we're all starting to have opportunities to turn a little profit. And what can we take and grow from the, veteran talent that want to work with us as producers? Now there's a lot, and it takes a little while. It takes one or two. It takes a Stevie Ray to go, yeah, man, I'm going to work with you guys. And then here comes 8 other wrestlers who go, oh, Stevie Ray's making money with them. They didn't want to be first, but they don't want to be last either. So right now it's a bunch of bodies trying to come through the door at the same time. And we're going to get through all of them, man. We've got the talent to help them. And I'm excited for you, Ray. And we're going to be collaborating with Big Vito's brand. I think 2 New York guys doing some great stuff together. I'm a huge ECW mark, so I can't wait to create new content there. And then his beautiful wife, Noelle, just as talented and also a graphic designer. So I'm pumped to have all of these new collaborations, because art by committee, I believe, is far superior than art by the individual. Sure, you can get your individual thoughts out, but when the group makes it together, there's a bigger satisfaction feeling at the end of the day for it, because we all had a part of making something and birthing it together, man. So I'm pumped, dude.
Ben, so I'm assuming Rick Vickery got the paperwork, got the cease and desist that was sent regarding the supposed outcome of the Hammies, right?
Well, I mean, we got a Georgia recount to get through before we get to the Hammy. There's a lot of political Dominion recounts already. So, maybe by 2022 Hammies will have the 2021 recounts figured out. But either way, you got to send me a $2,000 check.
Well, that's fine. You'll get that in Bitcoin. But really quickly before we jump into this 3 count, I just need to make something extremely clear. I do not concede my supposed loss to Matt Schaffer.
No, he's putting you over right now. I mean, it's just a hand. It's not like a cash prize going along with it or anything like that.
I understand. But what I want, and for what I've heard, is that Matt Schaffer bought a multiple bags of cell phones. Those throwaway cell phones, the burner phones, handed them to sent them out to multiple people, and these people created multiple IP addresses and voted repeatedly over and over and over again for one Matt Schaffer. So,
dude, that's some hacker Hamin heels over strong shit right there. You got to fucking respect that gangster.
That is not cool.
Who get it? I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool, but he wasn't on the show either.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
He was supposed to be on Raw, and he wasn't for that Legend show. There was somebody else too that they pulled, and I'm not sure why.
I was so excited. I actually went home. I never watched Raw. I said, let me watch Raw because I wanted to see Carlito, believe it or not. And I'm moving on, and hold on, Colin helped Matt Schaffer.
Well, I think Colin's got all these burner phones, so instead of throwing them out, they got one more in on them because it doesn't mess with Colin's human trafficking business, and that's probably why Colin's just like, I got 7,000 phones over there, bro. If you want them, go ahead, do what you got to do. So, Matt's over there changing the chips and shit like that.
I'm excited. You know what? Fuck this shit. I'm just gonna move past this. I am excited to be working alongside FBI, the full-blooded Italian, Big Vito. I mean, you're gonna have 2 bald-headed men. Big Vito, way more handsome than I, and better shape than I will ever be.
I think he puts lotion on his whole head and face every night, bro.
I think you know what it is.
Than when I was with him at OVW 13 years ago, he looks younger now.
So I was watching a lot of his shit. Like whenever I work with somebody, even when I started working with you, I started doing homework, working with you. And I was watching a lot of his old shit, like the stuff the enhancement stuff that he did with the WWE into WCW, into the ECW, into back into the WWE when he was
Crush, all the different iterations, yeah.
And it is, I think it's not a thing that he puts a lotion on his face. The guy, I was listening to an interview that he did with our own Rob, Rad Rob, from back in the day. And he was explaining that he really likes to take care of himself. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. I'm the same way. I like to take care of myself. I feel like I look a lot younger than what I am. And that's a cool thing, man. I think he and I have a lot in common, bro.
I do too. I think so too. I think it's going to be a great collab. I'm looking even having Big Sal on there and probably Nunzio. Maybe we'll get all the FBI boys back together on there. Mama Luke, the whole nine, man. And the Skull Von Crush days. Like I said, we're trying to get Rips brand and Stevie Ray TV launched today. And next week we shift focus on Vito. And then after that, we start working with 2-man power trip at Russo brand and all the top level talent. He came in. We're talking with ODB last night. Serena was in the Impact Attack kayfabe. Jamin Olivencia. We're working on his website, dude. It's just, they use Big Ray's word. We're blessed with having more work instead of trying to scratch and claw to find stuff to do. So it's just about management, and we got the strongest team. There's no denying. I mean, Russo brand, me, Russo, Jeff, Stevie, and I, and myself. Toe a lot of all the line there. Hamin Media Group. There's 4 times the amount of production going on, community members, everybody farming on their own property. Cage Theory's back. After Blake wrote me a handwritten apology and he was crying and stuff.
Whoa. I want to see that. I
don't want to stooge him off.
Are you serious?
All that kind of shit, man, of everybody gets a chance to grow their own. New Force Order to Academy podcast, Suck My Balls podcast, Destino, New Japan podcast. And I'm so pumped because everybody's gone with that plan. Now they know how to apply that to all these top level talents because they've learned how to grow something of their own, and they've had equity in it. Now there's a chance to even make just a little bit of coin. But everybody's prepared to go forward and succeed. I really feel not overly confident, but confident in my team more than I ever have. And to have a team of this size, K100 don't got it. Conrad don't got it. Cornette don't got it. Only Hamin Media Group has it.
So, Ben, I'm gonna quickly move on here.
3 count. We got a 3 count to do.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, you guys asked for it. We're bringing it way back to the old WZ days with the 3 count. And the first topic I wanted to talk to you about, and what the 3 count is for people that are listening, people that are brand new to this this segment in our show. Basically, what it is 3 of our top 3 stories, I guess, of the day, whether it be pro wrestling, conspiracy, news. And I wanted to jump into some breaking news that happened just a couple of hours ago or about a day ago. Dr. Dre with a brain aneurysm, dude.
Yeah. That's, beyond hard to comprehend, but because at the same time, you say we look good, we feel good, and we're getting older, man. And we see, tragic things like Brody Lee passing that aren't just like the norm at 41 years old, but Dre at 50, whatever, we're going to start seeing these things, these guys who are icons when we were growing up in the 90s and 80s who, brought on all this, because let's make no mistake about it, hip hop is as phony as wrestling, right? It's all that gangster shit. The reality is, in the last years, Dre's wife, took him to the cleaners, took whatever it was out of the bank accounts and ran. Is this what had kind of the onset, like that stress? When you, like Biggie said, more money, more problems. When you ball at that level, and who knows, especially when you're fucking doing deals with Pyru and fucking, the head of the Bloods with Suge Knight, that's a lot of extra stress, homie, especially when the reality is, and, I'm not trying to besmirch the man's name because I love his music, but when you were probably a closeted gay man since the 70s, and you have a kid and you got to do all this gangster shit, and you know what I mean? But it's known that you have a boyfriend on the side, and guys out you, Suge and fucking Easy and them. Dre got roped into the music business, and the music business said, you're going to be a fucking gangster, because that's what the CIA wanted at the time, bro. They wanted to put crack into the fucking streets, and they wanted a fucking new dark image for hip hop. Well, that went from, because if you look at hip hop, it was fun party music, education music.
Right.
There was all these different genres. Now everybody, even if you're an R&B singer trying to get some pussy, you got to act like you're a fucking gangster who's going to shoot somebody. Fuck out of here. You ain't going to shoot nobody. So, you know, like all that is nothing more than a persona. So I almost felt bad for Dre. If you go back and look at him in sequins and roller skates, like, you know, he just wanted to, he thought he was going to be Donna Summers. He loved all that shit, you know, and shocker, in the music industry, there's abundance of gay people, but he's got to play a character at, you know, all that. And what he did in the spin outs to bring 50 Cent, Eminem, Snoop Dogg to the forefront, and then make, you know, we're making our little bit off of Stevie Ray and that great property. Dre's the opposite. Dre made those guys. He makes the most money until they get over. So Dre, a true boss in this shit on how to get guys opportunity to look at hip hop and go, we need an Elvis. We need to sell out the black experience. And I'm going to go find the one guy who is that. And, you know, over and over again, from NWA to Nothing But a G Thing on the Chronic album, Dre Day, Chronic 2001, you know, you hear those keys, that bling, 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 you know it, from Doggy Style, the original albums, to Eminem crushing it back and forth to 50, those early days, man, with those big bass beats, just great legacy. I mean, the man's not dead yet, but this is the
God
we'll see more of, you know.
He's like, he's not dead yet. How serious is this thing? I know he's in the intensive care unit at this point in juncture.
It's tough. I mean, dude, I mean, if you're in ICU with a brain aneurysm, it's no fucking joke.
What is a brain aneurysm? Aneurysm to be?
It can be. They're not sure if it's a stroke or a blood clot on the brain or bleeding on the brain, and the brain has like an embolism pops in there, and then, you know, like everything can be rewired instantly, and you might never recover from it. But he's had a lot of stress with this divorce and all that in the last year. Plus, he come up in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. How much yayo do you think this guy put up his nose, bro?
Oh God, forget about it.
I'm saying? So you live a hard, fast life, and you make the world know. I mean, everybody, you can go anywhere on the planet and throw on G Thing or, you know, Still Dre and all that shit, and people are gonna know. I don't give a fuck where you are. If you're in Japan, New Zealand, Australia, UK, you know that shit. So there's a price to pay with greatness, and we've seen it in comedy, we've seen it in music before, but I think Dre's lived quite a hell of a life in the last 40 years, bro.
Well, I'm hoping the guy pushes kicks out it too, because
me too, man. I don't want Dre to go, but especially, you know, in the new year, that's something we all share together.
He is one of the greatest minds in hip hop history. The NWA, not the NWA, like the wrestling organization, but the NWA knuckers with attitudes. Them dudes, bro. I remember the transition. I'm sure you remember the transition very clearly, when we were going to, when we were listening to Kool Moe Dee, and we were listening to Kid and Play.
Tribe Called Quest. You were listening to Me, Myself, and I, De La Soul. It was a way different. It was that Hillman College vibe, that post Cosby, when they sent the kids to college. It was that vibe of educated, young, inspired artists in the African American community.
Absolutely. You know, and you know, during that time, it was fun music, but it was also deep thinkers music. You know what I'm saying? It was music that it was socially awoken music, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I loved that era of hip hop. It was fun for me. But when NWA came in, dude,
you had a ton of baby faces, and they were monster heels. And then all those cunts in Congress came at them and Ice-T and all that shit. And that just made them.
Like 2 Live Crew.
Oh yeah. Man.
Dude.
I was sitting, my buddy Ben Gardner would get tapes from his cousin. We were 11 years old. we'd be in the closet with headphones on listening to fucking Oh Me So Horny and fucking bootlegs of fucking NWA's first shit. And like, we're just like, holy, because we were listening to the Fat Boys and shit before that, you know, like all that shit. And that's how it changed. And somebody with a brilliant marketing idea, whether it was Jerry Heller or the CIA, saying we can't let the perception of black people be educated and artistic. We got to have them killing each other and drugs and making money and da-da-da-da. And look what that's perpetuated in the last 40 years, bro. Like, there is a lot to be said about the conspiracy of gangster rap and what they did with it, man.
We went from Mr. Wendell to Straight Outta Compton. Crazy motherfucker with name Ice Cube.
That's right.
From a group called
Aneurysms.
Yeah, man. Well, anyway, man, you know, sending good vibes out in the universe for Dr. Dre. Keep selling them $400 headphones.
Yeah, forget we didn't even get to Beats, right? That I missed that, all that bullshit. He might have made more off Beats than he did as a cultural thing than he did all of his music catalog combined. And, you know, with his wife being a Bukiak or whatever she got tired of for being his beard for 30 years while he's going and getting his cheeks blown out by his boyfriend, you know, like fucking that's what Suge Knight said. That's how I remember him saying. Wow. This should go. Dre like to get them cheeks blown out. But you know, the reality is she's laughing all the way to the bank now because everybody knows, and well, he's still alive, and I don't want Dre to be gone, but as a musician, your catalog value doubles and triples after you pass away. So how long is it before we see the fight for the rights to who it is? And it'll probably be her and Suge Knight. But 3 years from now, Super Bowl commercial. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
You're going to hear Dre Day in the background of a fucking Dodge Ram commercial, bro. You know
that's exactly what it is. It's crazy how I'll sit down and watch a Doritos commercial now, and you got fucking Busta Rhymes on that commercial.
I heard fucking Tragically Hip, Ahead by a Century. I was watching SmackDown last week on, you know, a boosted stream. And
I'm sorry.
Well, I heard Ahead by a Century by Tragically Hip. I could not believe it. But RZA also sold Wu-Tang's catalog to some London-based advertising firm, and there was a Wu-Tang fucking joint in the background of some shit on a BT Sports thing I saw.
Really?
Too. So that's just the cold hard fact of us getting older, Ray. We were lucky to come up during a Renaissance time in the 90s where there wasn't original music, and that's ingrained in our souls. You know, much like rock and roll in the 60s, doo-wop in the 50s and 60s, their rock in the 60s and 70s and 80s. You know, that's their stuff, but now it's all going to get hoard out. As we turn into 50s and 60-year-olds, you're going to hear all the old gangster shit become background music for fucking Taco Bell campaigns, bro.
Well, Ben, speaking of Taco Bell, is one of the biggest heels in the food industry, because once you have that, you never kick out. But listen, man, speaking of heels and being heels over strong, story number 2, brother. Man, the Democrats look like they have done it. As I am looking at the live results right now, Raphael Warnock is he's won his seat, and John Ossoff is now pulling away with over $100,000 probably dollars, over 100,000 votes. John Ossoff, both Democratic parties in the Georgia runoff. Looks like the entire House and the entire Senate will be now run by the overlords, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Dude, now this is the conversation. This is where we have to go now. Now people are seeing this and they're thinking $2,000 stimulus checks. They're thinking, oh, not only one 2,000, maybe we'll get two $2,000 stimulus.
Dude, Biden put that out there. He goes, the day I first day I'm in office, everybody's getting $2,000.
Well, now it's going to happen. I think it's going now. But now, here's the thing. And Jen said something to me last night, which is funny because this is how woke she has become. She goes, "Yeah, we're going to get that money, but are we going to be able to leave the houses again?" So Ben,
Aren't we? We've talked about this on the Horseman, and I'll say this about the politics. Regardless of the corruption and who plays the game, we're all being duped. But if the recount is legit, and this is me, not as a on the side of conservative and logical thinking, knowing what's about to happen with the globalists selling us out to China when they get in there. But, I'm not one to be like, don't settle for this bullshit. If they're doing the recount and it is, you got to take it. That's what America's about. Like, if you're not just doing that, if there's not real hard evidence of a complete fuck job where we have to have a coup d'etat to subvert these guys, which I think we do, but at the same time, if it's not and they had everybody over their shoulder and it comes out that way, then you shut the fuck up and you shut the fuck up and you take the L, because it's only 4 years. To me, that's strategic planning. So you lost your little power addiction, but if you're really worried about draining the swamp and getting the shit bags out, which is everyone from Biden to his kids to fucking all that shit. And you can say the same thing about the other side. That's a whole different argument, but the world's still going to fucking turn as I spread like germs. Bless the gold with the pestilence. The hard-headed never learn. So, we're, yeah. Wu-Tang, Shaolin, what? You hear it in your elevator soon enough.
Can you imagine that?
That's what they're saying in the chat. Elevator cream's going to be elevator music, just the fucking dun 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 dun. Yeah. That's it. That little piano riff. But if they go over strong in Georgia and that's it, that's fine. But here's the problem: you want to let them go. I've seen this 100 times in wrestling. They want to come in strong as shit, and I can do all this. And this is how I would be in WWE too. Be careful what you wish for. Because when they're going to let you have it just so you can hang yourself with the rope, you know what I mean? And they'll set up pitfalls for you all along the way. So all we're going to get for the next 2 years is traps and finger pointing instead of any progress towards unity and unification moving forward. There's a big march on Washington today with conservatives, and I don't doubt that there's false flags in place to set up, because no crisis goes to waste. It's always an opportunity to push an agenda and lock things down and gain more control over the people and use propaganda to divide us. And unfortunately, we're not on Twitch. We're only here on YouTube right now, but that's really what Conspiracy Horseman's about, is waking people the fuck up to both sides in their mischief, man, and what they've done. And it's time to overthrow them. So will it happen? I don't see it. But to your point, this sitting at home getting free bullshit money that's not backed by anything is exactly the globalist China, Biden, Clinton plan of what they want to do. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Okay, so they're gonna get you used to going, oh, I didn't have to go to work, or I'm almost on a welfare, but I get $2,000 of fake money that just gets deposited with no backing, and I can go on Amazon, which is more Chinese products, and not have to go out and spend it locally in my community. We're playing right into their hands. So to the Nancy Browns, their integrity has been bought for $620 and $2,000 more guaranteed, just to get them down this road of sucking off the teat of the fucking government, where they've taken everything away from you, liberty-wise, movement, all your First Amendment rights, right to assemble, right to free speech, all that. No, yeah, they're even saying it, right to propagandize. And what's that cost? Well, $24,000 apparently, if it's going to be a month-to-month stipend of fake money that's nothing more than video game credits. How long is that really going to last, bro? Only long enough till they can rape and pillage the rest of what is real and become the total master controllers of a feudal system of kings and queens that they're striving for. And then they'll fucking kill half the world like they are right now. And they go, it was a necessary evil. And there's nothing anyone will be able to do about it.
Well, here's the thing. People that think that this, with the vaccine, we were supposed to have 20 million people vaccinated by the end of 2020. Well, it's 2021, and that's not going to happen. That's number one. Number two,
well, it's only 15 days to a cure if you would have stopped touching your face back in the spring, but you kept touching your face all the fucking time, Ray.
Oh, it is what it is, brother. I mean, I don't know. Fauci tells me not to wear a mask, and he tells me to wear a mask, so it is what it is. Listen, one thing I'll say is that
That's at the secret sex parties, though. You can either wear your mask here or you cannot wear whatever.
Why not? Look at Donald Trump Jr. just partying it up. He's not sick, right? The thing that scares me, Ben, is that people think that this shit is over, like it's gonna be over by the summer. Ben, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, hear me out.
Who thinks that? You're a fucking idiot if you think that.
Well, people do think that, and I'm gonna let me just tell you. I mean, this all of a sudden there's another strain of this coronavirus
21. It's gonna be called COVID-21.
That popped up here in New York and popped up. Now it's popping up in the United States, and that's I don't know, man. I mean, it's like I won't be surprised, Ben, if we're wearing masks, face gimmicks, till the end of 2022.
2022 until America falls, bro.
Bro, like this is the new norm, man. Like guys, get used to it. And if you don't wear a mask,
2025, bro, that's when they want the big reset.
This is the mark of the beast, dude. I'm telling you.
But what is weird to me, and maybe you can explain to me, is you as in believing in faith and the mark of the beast, but you're also anti-Trump and pumped to watch him go down. So you're supporting the crew that is pushing you closer to the satanic cabal. How do you justify both of those in your head? And I submit to you that the definition of mind control via George Orwell's 1984 is to hold two diametrically opposing thoughts in your head at the same time and be able to believe in both of them and justify them. And I'm not trying to single you out here, but it seems like, even if you're just ribbing, that you are pumped for the leftist side. And I'm not trying to say because of heritage and Latino stuff, because that would, if I was a Latino and Trump was saying fucking
excuse me, Latinx,
we're saying that about my people, I would feel some kind of way too, right? So I totally see you're justified, but that means you got to back these fucking white people who fucking dub Kamala Harris our black friend to be in with the crowd and are pushing us toward the total system of what you just described. But because of our emotional fucking hatred for some guy who just says some dumb shit and tweets dumb shit, we're going to sacrifice the integrity and democracy that we should be fighting for a $2,000 check because we don't want to insult minorities and our fucking white guilt makes us feel a certain way. That's the bridge they pushed us to and where we're at right now, I think, bro.
To quote a great philosopher, former military man, and molder of minds, John Kreese, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Here's the deal, Ben. With me, I despise both sides. Sometimes I like Trump. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like what Biden and Kamala.
I don't have to like either of these cocksuckers. That's the thing. I want freedom of everything that we have given back. Wow. All this shit that you're saying 2021. Look at that movie Songbird. How did they make that movie? How long does it take for a movie to get made? And they were already talking about COVID 2021 with a dividing wall with those who've been vaccinated and those who haven't. All your favorite stars are in there to fucking put it over that have played presidents in the past. And now it's going to be it attacks your brain. Dude, where is the accountability? It goes right back to Fauci, Gates, and China all working together to create these things and Gates has talked about world depopulation. He's talked about this in 2015, but now he's the savior. How do people not see that these are the evil overlords that want depopulation through the country and have released this bio attack? And they are backed by Biden, by all these fuckers, man.
What? Oh, come on, Ben. You have no proof of that.
How about Jack Ma is missing? The guy who fucking...
Oh, the guy from China, right?
Well, he's the fucking guy who runs... Alibaba, which is the Amazon of China. Could you imagine Jeff Bezos just come up fucking gone?
Dude,
There's a lot going on here, bro. A lot of big things happening.
That guy's worth $50 billion, the guy in China. And I just heard this yesterday, actually, that he just up and disappeared. Unless our new overlords, the aliens, which how many days are left before they
I'd probably say less than 6 months if they did it and put it through in the stimulus package and it had the right on it, said 180 days countdown from when it's signed through. So that was December 30th. So bring us 1 week out before Independence Day.
Is there a reason why Bitcoin is now being accepted? As actual.
Who put that in the chat the other day? Did you see that in the group? Oh, somebody had a Bitcoin. I think it might have been Colin. He was at the store and he saw a Bitcoin ATM.
What? What is that?
So I'm not sure 100%, but I guess it's where transference of real cash, put it in there into your Bitcoin account, into that, bro. So when I say video game money, that's what I'm talking about. I've read these books and says you have to have 7 revenue streams if you want to be a millionaire. There's all these fucking business books with these dumb fucking rules, but like that is one that is kind of proven positive, right? So all this video game money, name it, PayPal, Bitcoin, Venmo, what else do we even your ATM card, really? How much do you ever use cash? It's nothing more than we're becoming the video game The Sims, with a fucking little thing over our head that has how many points we fucking and credits we have to our character, and we go and exchange these for hard goods that then what? They get the points and it gets shifted up. There's no basis for any of this anymore. No gold standard, no economy that's real. We see a fucking stock market that is hitting massive peak record numbers based on what, bro? Based on what? Nothing. On illusion. Hold
on, you got this information from Colin that there was a Bitcoin ATM.
He sent me the picture.
This is the same guy that thinks the glory holes are like a vending machine. I mean,
that's to each his own.
I'm just saying, but Colin, you didn't tell me anything about this. Were you just sending shit to Ben? Like, what's going on over here? Don't we have like a camaraderie? I can't even speak.
I mean, some others. He was buying fucking kangaroo meat, and he was buying what else? Ostrich meat.
I don't know, man. Whale. Got fucking 3 Cambodian kids now. He had 2 before. Now the kids.
You get people coming in from Cambodia and Australia every week. You got to have the right meats for them. You can't just give somebody steak when they're used to kangaroo, bro.
One of his kids has a fucking goatee and a limp. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
He got shot. That kid got shot in Vietnam.
He probably did.
Here it is.
Along with John Kreese. Let me see what you're showing me there. Oh, so shit.
It's a Bitcoin ATM.
But all right, but what do you do? Like, what do you pull out? Like,
you'll have to talk to Colin. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to find. We're gonna have to. All right, you know what?
Bitcoin Depot on it.
Investigation on. I gotta figure this shit out, dude. I never seen anything like that. I would think in New York City, you would see that
first, right? Exactly.
So what that basically is, I think, Colin probably stuck his ATM card in that thing, right? Mm-hmm. And they just took every dollar Colin has ever saved.
That's fine. Colin has to deal in multiple currencies. I think that's why he's going to Bitcoin, because he's tired of getting rubles. He's tired of getting whatever they got in Laos, the dinari, all that kind of shit, man. Like, it's just easier. Bitcoin's more accepted in the underground black market world of human trafficking.
I got to tell you something, bro. I think, I put it over. I said it before. The alien overlords will be here, before 2023. So Matt Schaffer is saying that he's seen them at the mall. Greg is saying they have Bitcoin. What the fuck? But how come these are in places that like
it's going to be the new thing, bro? Because you're going to have your Bitcoin ATMs, you're going to have your cash ATM, which you want to convert if you need cash. But more and more businesses are all look at PayPal. You can convert your PayPal money to Bitcoin in PayPal to put back into the dark web, right now.
The dark order, you said?
Yeah, dark order, man. Shout out, bro.
But yeah. Well, let me. I don't know, man. I mean, the other day, I kind of blew my own mind where I had left my wallet in my building because I went out to grab something for lunch, and I remembered that I had my Apple Watch with me, and I was able to pay.
It's nuts.
The fucking watch, isn't it crazy?
There's your mark of the beast, Briz, and soon that'll be gone as well, because by 2025 it's all going to be biotech. So all you're going to have to do is go boop, and it scans your fucking face and your eyes, and there goes your little credits off your Sims thing over your head in the digital VR world that the machines read it from, bro.
But the point I was trying to make is that I haven't seen any of this in New York City, and I would think, just to reiterate my point, I would think that New York City, Los Angeles, Dallas, like these places.
Why haven't you seen it yet?
I don't know. You tell me.
You know,
Do
because
I?
the mob and the fucking politicians haven't figured out how the corruption and their kick is gonna fucking come to them yet. As soon as they fucking get it all squared away, they'll flip the switch on it, bro, just like that. And every Starbucks will be taking cryptos and all this other shit, bro. It's good. By 2025, the way we have money, if we even have money at all, you know, physical dollar bills, I don't think we will. It's going to be all these little video game streams from PayPal, Venmo, crypto, all this bullshit, bro.
Well, before we close this out, Ben,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Democrats, like I said, overstrong. Heels overstrong for some people. You know, some people despise the Democrats. So now moving forward, now that they've won this, now that it looks like the Democrats will have the House and the Senate, where do we move forward? Like, what happens next? I'm talking about regarding the stimulus, regarding, you know, like, how does this affect the votes? And so I want to educate the people that don't understand politics at this point in juncture. And you're a guy that I think can answer this question. Like, where do we go forward now?
To me, if Biden and them are going to be able to pull their tactics at the highest level, then they did it. It's not like the presidency is some fucking prized thing with integrity anymore. It's completely
Right.
out from Obama being a CIA fucking project from the ground up, where he grew up with the Bushes and no one talks about that. From George Bush, nepotism. From Bill Clinton being a fucking son of a whore of a Rockefeller who was banging his fucking mom, you know what I mean? And that he's truly a Rockefeller, even though with the name Clinton, and the cocaine they were running in when they were governors and all that kind of shit as it relates back. So the integrity of the presidency, whether you're getting your cock sucked in the Oval Office or you're fucking creating fake wars for your dad's companies to profit while you rape Afghanistan and kill Pakistanis and Iraqis based off of a false flag event that you engineered and stole $2.3 trillion from. Why would I apply some George Washington efficacy to the presidency at this much? You have to be a complete shitbag in the upper fucking registers of the Bilderberg Group, Yale, fucking Skull and Bones, all this type of shit to be even able to play at that game level. So let them have their fucking fun, because that just ingrains them to thinking that they're untouchable. And then meanwhile, we show up at Nancy Pelosi's house at 2 a.m. with more than a spray paint can, you know, going forward. So I say the fear needs to be put in them, because that's the only way that things will ever get back to, let me think about the common man and Dusty Rhodes era, like, because without that, dude, they're just going to run wild and become a new feudal system of feudal lords who let these peasants eat cake. And if 1 million of them die from disease, who cares? Because we're the chosen ones going forward, because they cornered the market on technocracy, on fucking investment, everything. They bet against us in subprime mortgages where they gave a ton of money. They put the bet on that, hey, shocking, a new Mexican family of 7's not going to be able to afford a $500,000 house. And they bet against that. And then when that Mexican family moves out and fucking gets shipped back, they fucking reap the rewards on buying that house at 1/5 the cost, and the money they put into the mortgage market to bet against it cashes in as well. So it's all a big game, and you ain't fucking in it, right? So I think let them have it if they want to, because if this guy's been to fucking Epstein Island, if his kid is raping 12-year-olds with Chinese fucking syndicate people, they should be terrified that all that's going to come out. They look how many times they made the play. Stormy Daniels, tax fucking things from Trump, Russiagate. We can keep going. All this shit. How did that play out for them? Did they get a win on any of those?
Nope.
No. Now come back around. Karma's a motherfucker. What happens when Ghislaine Maxwell gives them all up? What happens when the fucking laptop? Yeah. Where is Ghislaine Maxwell? What fucking, how about when the Hunter Biden laptop goes public because somebody's had enough in the CIA? How about when the Epstein Island of the list of Democrats and fucking all this comes out, and it's not some bullshit that's a Rachel Maddow fucking false flag to the media. There's real evidence. So let them have it. Like that could be the best thing you could do to tear them down. Let them have it for 3 months. And then, oh, by the way, did you know your president's son is raping a 12-year-old fucking girl in China? And here it is. It's not going to be some Stormy Daniels bullshit where they tried to fucking push. And who cares if the president's banging out whores? That's what I'm saying. You want to hold him accountable, but we hear where the fuck is Monica Lewinsky during all this to have her own talk show? No, they paid her off, silenced her right the fuck up. You know what I mean? So this is all the big game of, are you going to see it for what it really is? And these shitbags who are at the top, the best thing you can do is give them what they want, because they're going to hang. This guy's going to be right back to fucking putting his hands on 8-year-old girls and taking pictures of the White House, sniffing their fucking hair. 70 years of that behavior doesn't end overnight because you're the fucking president now. He's a sexually dysfunctional, possibly lunatic at this point in their age. And none of them should even be holding office after 65 years old. They're so out of touch with reality that you're done. There needs to be the capper right there. So
we have a resident in my building that listen, I don't work just for tips and stuff like that. You know, it is what it is.
He works for the shaft too, not just the tip. He gets
I'm sure he does. But this guy, he's like 98 years old.
Well, I was talking about you.
Oh yeah, I do. Absolutely. Why? Is that a problem? But yeah, so this guy, you know, he tips for the holidays $20.
Mm-hmm.
Which he believes, he's so out of touch with the value of $1 nowadays. He thinks that that's like a huge deal. And yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there. You suck, old man.
Oh wow, I thought you were going another way with that, because I watched the World Star video yesterday where I wanted to kick the shit out of this girl. She shows up with Uber Eats, and it was like a $25-$30 order, and the guy tipped her $8. And she goes fucking, she's on the camera, and it's a total millennium, you know, looks like fucking Thelma from Scooby-Doo, fucking empowered, you know, whatever her pronouns are, whatever that cunt's got to say.
Right.
And she's on camera with the guy, like being passive aggressive, being like, you know, it was 40 minutes to get your food here and you only tipped me $8. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's only a 12-mile 15-minute drive. It's like, no, it's 12.5 miles. It was 40 minutes. You need to go drive it. And then maybe you can reevaluate my tip. She goes, you know what? I'm taking the food back. Dude, the guy's on camera with not opening the door, and you can hear his girlfriend too. I would have fucking fired 2 shots over her fucking head before she got to the fucking car.
Time out.
The balls on these fucking millennial cunts and what they think they have the right to say and do. Unbelievable, bro.
Dude,
I was hoping he would open the front door and a Rottweiler would come out and just start laying into her fucking arm, bro. Just watch her scream. The entitlement level of what this fucking generation thinks they have, bro, is and that they think they can do those moves, and you pull that on the wrong motherfucker, you're gonna be dead on the fucking front lawn with 3 in your back, bro.
First and foremost, if I order $40 worth of Chinese food in New York City and you give this dude a $5 tip, they're ecstatic.
Right.
Because that's an $8 tip is a fantastic
tip. Straight up millennial cunt driving Uber Eats who's probably got a master's degree, and she thought she was going to be a fucking great English lit teacher at some woman's college, and now they all fucking work remotely and she can't get hired, so she's doing Uber Eats, and she thinks that she has a power play over people now instead of shut the fuck up, leave the fucking food on there, and you're lucky. You know what? That $8 tip is going to be 8 cents. I would fucking order more food, request her, just so I can make her fucking drive all around the city and tip her a dime.
Well, what I did see was Jen finally found that video of Baby Yoda riding the 4-wheeler. Fucking epic, dude. Thank you.
And that's your 3 count. Yeah,
I did wanted to get into one more quick story before we jump in.
We don't have time. We're already in an hour. Let's go to Impact. Save it. No, what's the story?
WWE signed. They threw me off with that one, you bastard.
Yeah.
Anyway, they just speaking about China. They filed for 9 more names and 8 more Chinese characters December 30th. So WWE making some moves with the China market. Just saying. It just kind of correlates with what
a good market to be into, but what are you going to do? Fucking train people who have no ability to go work indie shows, train them in the basics and the fundamentals of wrestling. That's a 10-year project for down the road. That doesn't even scratch the surface of what's going on now. WWE better fucking be a hell of a lot more worried about what they did on Raw this week and losing cable contracts and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia deals, being down 10% on Fox across the board, being down 26% on USA, losing 540,000 viewers since last year at this time. China is the fucking last thing that should be on their mind. Fucking
Japanese. Are you talking about you don't know names like Diamond Mine, Kuao Liang, the Bridge, New Wu, the Witch?
Down with.
I don't get it, brother. I don't get it. Who's One Hung Low? Who's some dumb guy? Some dumb fuck. All these guys. They signed them all.
World champion next week. Sure. Right. They'll probably be facing Goldberg by 2026.
Bin Hamin, let's talk some Impact Wrestling. January 5th, 2021. We're on the cusp of Genesis, which is coming up this week. And I think they have the X Division Cup. I think we're going to have Willie Mack versus Moose, I Quit match, Ace Austin versus Suicide, Davari versus Cousin Jake, Crazy Steve versus Trey Lamar. Who the fuck is Trey Lamar?
Well, I mean, you get rid of the Rascals, and you want new, fresh, young talent. So they have, a lot of guys who are pretty hungry to get a shot. They might not look TV ready or have a body, but hey, if everybody else is a big son of a bitch and known, being the new guy's not a bad place to be and be like, who the fuck's this jobber? Well, if you can go out there and do your job the right way, they might bite on you and management might give you a push. I mean, that's what happened with Ellsworth just being a fucking enhancement talent, right? And look what happened for him getting back on TV. So with the Rascals gone and you got D'Lo Brown backstage, on there. You've got who else is connected with a wrestling school? Somebody else on their booking. So why wouldn't you want to say, hey, I got guys who are ready.
Demore.
Me for 2 or 3. Who's that?
Scott Demore.
Demore, yeah, right, exactly. Border city wrestling.
Yeah.
And so if he's got guys he's going to vouch for, those guys probably been grinding 5, 6, 10 years. I think the one kid in the Moose Challenge said this was his 15th year in wrestling. So, 15 years to get one shot where people are like, who's this fucking new jobber? Meanwhile, guy's been on the road for 15 fucking years taking bumps. He might not have the size, but hey, these guys are getting a chance on TV. And I think it's probably because they're tied to the schools, of the guys who are writing the show. And that's how I do business too. Fuck it.
And we'll talk about that, gentlemen, in a little bit. I wanted to talk about his promo and how it can work for him. How terrible it was. But anyway, neither here nor there. Let's jump into the opening match of the evening. We start the match, Ben, with X Division Fatal 4-Way. We have Casey Navarro, Crazy Steve, Blake Christian, and Ace Austin. Ace Austin, we were just talking about this last week or the week before, whenever the hell we were talking about. We hadn't seen Ace Austin in forever.
That's why I was wondering if these guys also might have been from Rockstar Pro. Maybe Mad Fulton, because I saw that Sammy just signed a multiple year deal to come back to Impact. Maybe in that he's got, hey, I want you to use my boys from my fucking thing. So I either think these guys were either from Vegas with Simbodi and D'Lo, Ohio from Rockstar, or maybe Canada from Scott Demore. So they've got 3 good, and they could pull from OVW anytime they want to,
What did you think of the kid? What did you think of the kid, Blake Christian? That was the kid I think that was on the road for. I think did a great job.
Oh, in the 3-minute ass kick, bro, he fucking every bump he took, and he knew what he was doing. Had to look like a car wreck. Willie Mack comes out and fucking does the distraction because it's only a 3-minute challenge. He just has to last 3 minutes. He doesn't have to beat Moose by any chance. Willie Mack, to perpetuate the heat, comes out with 15 seconds left, enough to distract Moose. I think they should have done it at 10 seconds. That little 5 seconds in there made it too much time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 10 would have been better, but you live and learn. You think in your mind 15 seconds is like that, but really in TV time and in timing, it does make a difference. But the kid did fucking awesome. Every time he hit the mat, bro, it looked like he was in a car crash.
And I know we're jumping way ahead. We're still talking about the opening match, but I wanted to really get your thoughts on that and not forget about it. But this Fatal 4-Way match, man, this shit just, it did not stop. It was just balls to the wall action from beginning to end. I enjoyed the match. Crazy Steve did go over, which
I was
makes
surprised at that, and I liked it.
Really, because I thought Crazy Steve would be the winner here, because my thought process was Crazy Steve wins, and then eventually what they're going to do is they're going to put over what's his kid's name? I think they're going to put the belt on Crazy Steve. Check this out. They're going to put the belt on Crazy Steve and have Ace Austin chase that belt.
They could. I don't think he needs it. I think Crazy Steve's way made. He's a character. He's got a fucking prop monkey. He's got the face paint. He's got the still kind of the Abyss thing going on. You know what I mean? From when they were together as the Hive, and belts are for guys who can't get over with character. Crazy Steve got character all over, and he's blind. The motherfucker's blind. He's awesome. To have Crazy Steve have a belt, sure, it'd be a good feel-good feeling. But I guess I'm just still more old school in that. The way Crazy Steve went over was all right, and I was kind of like, because we're pumping hard to kill, right? The whole thing is to build the hard to kill. Right. What do heels need going into a pay-per-view?
The heat.
Right. So he gets beat clean, and Ace Austin and them don't get their heat back on him right away.
Right. Well, they were getting heat during the whole match because you had the big guy. What's his name?
Madman Fulton. It doesn't matter because the pin is the end of the match, right? That's our closure. So if heels are if we need heat going in the pay-per-view right away, the heels got to get right on Crazy Steve, but they didn't. He was up strong, and they powdered up the ramp looking defeated and pussy. Now maybe they'll regroup and get a revenge thing, and that's fine. But me, I'm just a little more old school about it. I want heels fucking up before, and even if it's at the pay-per-view and it's heels up, that means we're going even higher till we get to the next level where a baby face pays that off. So it was strange to have him go under here.
All right, so then maybe they have Austin win the title and carry the title, have Crazy Steve chase him.
Sure, but like that, what's that going to do? Because Crazy Steve just beat him. So now they got to win in a heel way on Crazy Steve. Okay, I'm down with that because we need to slide over. But if Crazy Steve beat him and then they slide over as a heel, is the chase for Crazy Steve really something we're interested in? I just see him as such a great character that fits in other places as opposed to a straight competition guy that we want to see win.
And I still don't understand why ShopImpact.com are not selling those monkeys.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is with this is you had Fulton at ringside. Ace Austin's back. Crazy Steve is beloved. That's the time to go over strong as heels on him and do something and make us love Crazy Steve even more as they're going into the pay-per-view and Austin or Ace Austin is cocky. Then if Steve went over there, it would mean something. Right now, that didn't really do a lot of business for either of those guys. It was a good match and segment, but not how you build to a pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Well, he was a match that we're going to talk about right now that I think did great business for one talent here. Well, maybe all the talents is, but you have Rhino and Cousin Jake versus Eric Young and Joe Doring. But Eric Young did not wrestle in the match. Ben, why don't you talk about the Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I hit him up, man. I'll stooge it off right now. He probably won't like this. Actually, I'm not going to stooge it, but I hit up Deaner, man, right afterward. I go, great work this entire year.
Wow.
Your elevation tonight stole the show. Very happy to see you evolving into an even higher stakes character, man. And I won't say what he said back to me, but he appreciates that, because it's rare that I've talked about being a lower stakes character. Sure, there's a lot we can do with the Deaner Trailer Park Boys family. We saw that, with some great cinematic stuff earlier in the year. I've worked Deaner's a fair amount in Canada. The guy's got every bit of star power that you could want, and he gets it fully, and he knows how to punch up matches in a brilliant way. And here he's going back to an origin story as the young boy for Eric Young being his driver, but now he's elevated. And this feels like, to me, Eric Young had a shit ton of great ideas for Sanity that they all hit the cutting room floor. Well, fuck you, WWE. I'm going to fucking do it my way over here with the creative control and make sure it gets done. So, but to do that, I first have to start forming my clique. he knows he's boys with Deaner, and Deaner probably wants to change out of some old country redneck. Deaner looked like a fucking star last night. I don't know if I liked how lean he was, but he was movie star. Couldn't take your eyes off him of how he looked last night. And also Fuller, what's the guy's name? Doring. You can tell they all fucking said we got to take this seriously and get in shape in the last 6 weeks in between tapings, and they all looked fucking great, bro.
Okay, so
really work in.
Before I forget, man, with Cody Deaner, dude, you nailed that shit right on the head when you said you couldn't take your eyes off of him. You know, he cut his hair bald, which I think they're doing the whole. Maybe they're kind of going along the lines of what CM Punk was doing back in the day when he was when they cut off Serena Deeb's hair and stuff. Kind of like a cult follower.
Our own Ted McNailer and my tag partner Dirty Bomb Dewey. Those were the three that got shaved.
But here's the deal. This is something that stuck out to me. There's chaos going on. By the way, the Deaner and Doring go over on Jake and Rhino, but
clean DDT. Nobody kicks out of that. You might change, but there's one thing that stays the same. Nobody's kicking out of Cody Deaner's DDT ever.
Now check this out. One thing that stuck out to me, I don't know if you noticed this. There's chaos going on, right? In the ring, you have Deaner standing outside with Doring. You have what's his name? Jesus Christ. Eric Young.
Yep.
The leader. Eric Young is out there cutting a promo, right? Yelling at and Deaner is not taking his eyes off of Eric Young. He's like staring at Eric Young, just waiting to be given a word or it's almost like a cult, not even like a cult, but let's say like I would say like a David Koresh type thing, the way people probably looked at him or Charlie Manson.
A little bit more like Fight Club of Project Chaos.
Right, or Charles Manson.
Yes, sure. Mm-hmm. Manson family. Absolutely.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, this Deaner character first, I love the Deaners as a tag team. Loved them.
Cousin Jake didn't do a bad job up top with the promo, but this is my one note for a lot of things on this show. There was a lot of wrestling type setups, and like Deaner's doing something that's very high level, and here we're kind of setting up with wrestling. And there's a lot of things that not regressed, I will say, but let's get to the real and let's get to some of these characters. And I like, because if Deaner and Eric Young are pushing that level, everybody else has got to rise to that level who works with them. So there's potential to do that. But I hope they start reshaping the show fully into those real scenes.
Then we go back to the bus and dick jokes, big dick jokes.
Yeah.
Put over the title.
And again, this is where I not have issue with fucking Cyrus and them. But when I listen to K100 and I like that show a lot, and when Cyrus is on and they got it, there's this weird thing that that generation does, where they, it's their running joke of, oh, Conan, oh, remember Cyrus when you won the Puerto Rican title and you cured AIDS all in the same night, like all these bullshit ribs. And he's like, well, Conan, I actually also invented ramen noodles that same week, and not a lot of people get like, okay, like all these dumb little. You can't go from Cody Deaner and that to like them trying to be good, Briz Kliz. We run the show in Japan. Remember when you beat Okada and Osaka in a soba eating noodles competition? Too sweet me there. Yeah, daddy. Like all that wrestle over Good Brother shit. Yeah. Dude, that's 2015. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to fucking keep it going and going. Meanwhile, you can't have that alongside of a Sons of Anarchy level performance that you just got in the segment. It really like, and those are supposed to be the top guys, the Good Brothers and the AEW, but that shit was way better in the segment before it, in my opinion, bro.
My question to you is, how is Kenny allowed to use the Bullet Club name when that's a New Japan Pro Wrestling property?
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
I don't think that is. I think this is all a work within the three companies. I think they're going to have a big.
That's the fact that Cyrus can get that done.
Well, that's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be another super clash. If you don't know your wrestling history, AWA, the NWA, World Class Championship Wrestling, and I believe Memphis, they all got together and had this big event. They were trying to take out WrestleMania back in the day after the success off of WrestleMania 1, and it didn't work. So
I could see him pulling together. I just want, because I like Cyrus, I just want to see him elevate out of that promoter working character that they think is tongue-in-cheek funny. He's better than that, and he's got a lot more to offer. He's just got to start saying real stuff instead of trying to be like, Kenny and I were together since the Sheik's time, and I've been his father. Like, nobody talks like that to each other. Or even in that scene, Gallows is like, we've been around the world, Daddy, and then we did. And I'm like, dude, you guys are in a fucking trailer together.
Right.
Talk to each other like wrestlers would talk to each other in the locker room.
You know what they're doing, though?
These scenes where I'm a wrestler playing wrestler, it just comes off weak to me.
This is what they're doing, though, Ben. Listen to me. They're doing it on purpose. And what they're doing is they are milking the marks. They are jerking the marks off. They are talking the way they are talking the way the marks think they talk.
That's first. Well, then let me tell you this. They went from 50,000 to 30,000.
I know.
To 5,000 live viewers last night. So what do you think is the better model to go down?
No, I agree with you. I think realism is the best thing that ever happened to professional wrestling. When things get real, when people stop talking like, and I will be triumphant, or, you know, we've said this 1,000 times, bro. You know, it's just like, instead of saying I will be triumphant, dude, I'm going to kick his fucking ass.
Well, the thing is, that to the viewer at home, when they see what Deaner just did in a mixed tag against cousin Jake and fucking Rhino, and the performance is 10 times better. Meanwhile, cut to these guys saying they're the best in the business, and their shit looks like an 8th grade play to me. You know what I mean? Like, the viewer can see the difference between a commitment and a Cody Deaner stare and a real DDT finish, as opposed to, we're going to tell you we're over, and we do the inside jokes tongue in cheek while joking about it, and you're never really going to get invested in this. We see through that, and they should too. They should watch their performance back and demand better of themselves.
Well, listen, so speaking about the inflection of speech, as we started the show off, and speaking about, you know, the way these gentlemen were cutting a quote unquote promo back there in the trailer, let's talk about a good talking segment. I thought it was a good talking segment.
Sure.
We have Deonna Purrazzo in the ring.
Yep.
And it's basically, you know, praise Bin Hamin, ya Allah, Steel Peanut. That over. That's a fantastic name, by the way, Steel Peanut. I fucking love it. They used to call me that in high school, by the way. Anyway, so you have Deonna Purrazzo. She's in the ring with Kimberly. And dude, Taya Valkyrie comes out. They go back and forth, man. Dude, I really liked this segment. I'm going to put this over real quick. In the beginning, I was a little hard last year on Deonna Purrazzo as the champion. I don't know if you've focused in on her Instagram, because I sure as hell have. Deonna Purrazzo seems like she's putting some work in, not only with what she's wearing in the ring, how she looks. She now looks to me as a champion should. She is
looks like a star.
She is gorgeous, by the way. And even when she was heavier, Ben, you and I both, you know, we have that type. You know the deal.
Big dudes, man. I don't want like a little girl that I feel like you can snap her spine between my hand with a pencil, bro. Forget that.
You want somebody that you can hold and keep you warm. But Deonna Purrazzo is absolutely gorgeous. But anyway, but now she's
got, you know why she's different from everybody else? There's nobody really rocking that shit, what's her name? JFK's wife. Fuck. Drawing a blank. Back into the left.
JFK, you said?
JFK's wife. Yeah.
What's her name? Gimmick Joanna.
Yeah, whatever. But she looks like her, you know what I mean? And she's
Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis.
Jacqueline Kennedy. Yeah. She's got that very proper look, and she's sexy and without overdoing it. You know what I mean? The eyes were done the right way, and I said on the watch line, I go, well, let's see if she can hold this scene. And in the beginning, she was a little wavery, but she grounded herself and then drove the scene. And I think she's 24, 25, maybe. Like, that's a not an easy thing to do for a newer performer to TV, and it could come off real NXT like promo class, and it was in the beginning, but then it did turn the corner, and it made it to where it needed to go. And Taya Valkyrie, for one of the first times, doesn't it looked like she was off of her game, that she got to her, you know what I mean?
A little bit.
And Taya was like, she was supposed to look like she was off her game, that she did get to it. But I have inside stooge report that Taya is on her way to WWE.
And this is why I even without knowing that, just from this segment alone, I was like, all right, Deanna's going over. Like Taya's going to make this girl. And
isn't that great that on their way out, they're usually they just cut people off and we're done and they go and show up. This shows how good the Impact locker room is and the management, that they're having people do business for the other people on the way out, and people are doing it. And it's not doing it on a way to embarrass somebody as they go. They're doing things the right way. Dude, it's been decades since we've seen anybody do things like that.
I'm enjoying this. You have Beauty and the Beast and Taya and Rosemary. You have, and I don't want to call the other young lady a beast. What's her name?
Kimberly
a beast, but she's that hot chick in the trailer park look, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. No, there's tons of girls like that around here. But you know what my favorite part of this was? I mean, the back and forth, the reaction shot from Taya, and then they had a soft what do you say, like blur in the background, and you can see Rosemary in the background reacting, just her facials and whatnot, but it's like blurred a little bit. That was an excellent production shot. Like, I really popped for that, to be honest with you. You have Deanna saying her promo to Taya's face reacting. You don't see Deanna, you just hear her. And then in the background, Rosemary's adding to the scene, and instead of just standing there waiting for her time. Really good scene work from that, and really good production work combined to make it sell.
It was a really great promo. And also, before we move on, one of the things that stuck out to me was that you had Deanna kind of throwing Taya's husband, or throwing her under the bus, Taya under the bus, how she lost her husband, how she lost that.
This is what people are asking in the chat, and I've said this on a couple other shows. Look at what we got with Miz and Morrison and these douchebag characters. Meanwhile, both of them have tons of money written on them. With Miz and Maurice, why wouldn't you have Jomo and Taya? You got fucking Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux, Triple H and Steph, Charlotte and not Garza, Andrade. You could have Garza with somebody else if you wanted to. Mia Yim and Dragon Lee, if you wanted to. Now we have all these power play couples, bro. Even the Fiend and Alexa, if you wanted to, like to put it in there. Even bring back Undertaker and his wife. I'm sure she wants it. Why aren't we building towards some type of big Temptation Island reality show type thing with these power couples, instead of taking the guy who looks like Jim Morrison and putting him in a fucking suit and making him dance around like a douchebag? The guy is 100% sex appeal, and his wife looks like Marilyn Monroe. But are they going to keep them separate and fuck it up? I can almost guarantee they will, instead of playing into it the right way.
I'm hoping that by WrestleMania in April, we do have Taya in the WWE. We have Taya and Morrison versus The Miz and Maurice in the mixed tag team match of WrestleMania. That would be fun for me to watch.
That would be good. I think there's even more though there with Killer Cross and Morrison and Taya and Scarlett Bordeaux.
Absolutely.
And because Killer Cross and fucking Morrison are best friends.
Well, listen, man. All in all, enjoyed this segment, Ben, and we're gonna. What the hell is this? William Alicia posting in the Hamin Media discussion group. Big Ray, look at the guns on Tony Khan, and what a scathing promo at the end. Oh,
dude, I'll tell you what, my biggest pop. I mean, Cody Deaner is my favorite thing on the show, hands down. But I popped fucking huge during the Khan promo. And that's one thing. That was the last couple of weeks in doing it. But yeah, right, Sister Mary. She's a funny chick, man. But to me, Khan is a heel with the 2021 glasses on. I'm like, what the fuck? Then he goes, and I'll buy some more advertising time on Impact because my grandmother sent me a card with $100 in it. And I was like, oh shit, bro.
Yes.
Like that made me fucking pop huge. But then at the end, Shivani is standing there. Like, he popped on that too. Shivani starts mouthing the words that Khan's saying off the teleprompter.
I didn't see that. I have the video right here.
Yeah, dude. Go watch the last 10 seconds of it as they're wrapping up. You can see Tony's like going back and forth. And then his mouth starts mouthing the words on the teleprompter as he says it. It made me laugh hard.
All right, so I have the video going here as we're talking about this, but yeah, again, ladies and gentlemen, head over to Facebook and join the Hami Media Discussion Group. It is one of the best places to be, man. I mean, seriously, like very intelligent, respectful wrestling fans, people that love mixed martial arts, sports. We talk everything there. By the way, New York Knicks, hottest team in basketball, baby.
Yeah, dude, Javid, I feel bad because I know he feels bad because he helped me flip some good bets last weekend, but we got killed last night and he hasn't hit me up yet on the $30 he cost me.
Oh my God, he is mouthing.
Yeah, he's mouthing it at the end. Daniel Price, Ben, that's it.
He's mouthing.
I'm gonna write the ideas. You be the pitch man. Let's do this. Daniel Price, who the fuck am I supposed to pitch to? I'm blackballed by every company.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I don't know. Daniel Bryce is he's into the conversation, but if you got ideas to pitch, I might not be the guy to do it because I say a lot of shit on air every week. Sometimes it ends up on TV at about 20% capacity, but having me pitch your ideas is a surefire way to make sure they don't get on.
Yo, man, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's because of 2020. Fuck, Ben, don't get mad when I say this. Don't be surprised. And William Alassi is going to Tony Khan is starting to grow on me a little bit.
Well, he did a great thing for Brody, man, and that's fine. Like that's all good to not like something and have them improve and say, hey, you're improving. I like what you're doing. Like you don't have to stick to your guns of fuck this fucking guy forever. In the beginning, maybe, but a true leader is always able to change his mind.
I'm gonna tell you straight up, what he did for Brody Jr., what he did for that family, that shit was fucking classy. I don't care. Okay, all right, because I thought listen, like that shit was fucking cool. And when this, I know we spoke about Brody over the last couple of weeks, but the fact that the last couple of days or whatever it is, but I'm a dad. And, my biggest fear, Ben, is me passing away and leaving Aiden behind young, God forbid. And, I'm sure that's why Brody, saved and really took care of his family. And just knowing, like me, if I had to go and knowing that I had a support system like that, it would give me more peace. And just seeing with Tony Khan and the boys and letting the kid run around the backstage and just, shoot on everybody. And, dude, that shit made that kid's, at least maybe for those.
You gotta, when a kid's that age,
yeah, man,
his little mind can't process that his dad is really gone.
No.
So you have to do the Disney magic. Like, let's make this an event. So when he realizes that the emotion that he has, even though his dad's passed away, when he brings that up in the future, that's going to help that kid be able to cope so much, bro. Like with how tragic this really is, because during a time of extreme like sadness, everybody went out of their way to make sure this kid's, was protected from pain. And instead of everyone crying and lamenting and him having to see that all the time, he got to live in his father's legacy a bit more. There might be some questionable things of like, do we need him with the boot shot at the end? And is that a little too egregious for TV? But whatever, in the overall spectrum of all this type of stuff, that was just good humanity by Tony Khan in the wrestling business.
I noticed that Manda, John's wife, has been really hitting the gym recently, and I know she was a worker. Do you think there's any chance that maybe she might?
Well, why not do exactly what they did for Vicky Guerrero after Eddie passed? Why not? She absolutely could pull that off.
That's the first thing I was looking at her because again I follow her even before all this happened, and I follow both of them, and I'm like, man, she looks like she's trying to, she's trying to get back in ring shape. I wonder if she's thinking about working again.
I mean, just appearance wise, that's more than plenty just to be out there and have somebody like if Dark Order guys are going to work indies, get her too.
Oh.
You know what I mean, and along those lines.
And I agree with you and Ted and Rick. Dark Order definitely they have to be babyface.
They can still work like heel, but they it's a babyface thing now. It's made.
Because not for nothing, Hulk Hogan worked heel his entire career. I don't know if people understand that, but yet he was the biggest babyface in the history of this. He would scrape people in the back and poke. Anyway, all right, I keep hitting this fucking mic. We got Jordan Grace. Let's run through this. We got Jordan Grace and Jazz in the semis, right? In the semis versus Havoc and Nevaeh. And dude, Nevaeh and Havoc, they go over. They win, and I think this is the right team to win this as they move into the finals of the Women's Tag Team Championship tournament. And I love the fact, listen, they're doing this the right way here in Impact Wrestling with the Women's Tag Team Championships. I love the tournament. I believe that they made these titles seem to be very important. I wasn't a big fan of Jordan Grace's promo backstage with Jazz. It was kind of wrestling-y. I guess
that way was again. Here's a moment that when we got just too wrestling with it. You know what I mean? There was a couple times with it. It wasn't bad, but when you see real before that and then you see wrestling stuff, it just feels way more phony, right?
Yeah, it just felt like, we just lost this tag team title, elimination match, and I want to fight you now. It would.
But it was good. It was booked very well. I was pumped for
the match.
They have, and Nevaeh, Havoc goes over on Jazz. So because Jazz is just there to give the rub to Jordan Grace, right? So they protect Jordan Grace not taking the fall, and Jazz goes over and puts over the girls to make them. I like Jay have one over strong on it. And then, Jordan's justification afterwards, we could have gone with a couple different choices, but Jordan Grace was laying in some great stuff. The shoulder blocks in the corner and stuff looked really, really solid. There was a lot I liked in this match. There's a couple things when they go to shoot off Havoc where Havoc's just letting them lead her around like we were out of position. Like Havoc should bing, bing, and they got to fire back on her. So she's got to sell to the ropes. So there's just a couple things there. I think, not that Jazz is going to fucking, this is her retirement tour and she's doing good business for younger people on the way out. And somebody was ribbing. She looks like she had like the Dave Chappelle janitor outfit on or whatever. But yeah, I think Jazz could pull off, even with different wigs if she wanted to, or with no wig. She could really pull off that Mary J. Blige look. You know what I mean? I think, when you think of Mary with the tight pants, thick, wide hips, and the high boots, and then some type of sexy sweater top, like, and the hat, the Carmen Sandiego hat. That's what I always think of for Mary J. I think Jazz could pull that shit off and look like $1 million, bro.
She has, but it's just why is she going bald? Like, why does she have the bald gimmick?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure as far as black women's hair as they get older. I think a lot of them go toward the wig and whatnot. But I think she looks pretty with a baldy just like yours, man. Like I think her face is attractive, and even though she may be more masculine in some ways, like she is her own kind of thing. I can't really think of anybody else that's like her. There
was an African American woman. I think she was a model that used to have the bald head, and she pulled it off. She looked gorgeous.
Yeah. And Jazz, they say Jazz never been a looker, but she's not like how Shayna Baszler is, where she's masculine and you look at her a certain way. I think Jazz, as a performer, can do whatever she wants to, strong style in the ring. I just see her as a star rocking that Mary J type of look, and she'd be turning heads, man. It's just
Matthew Palmer. We spoke about this at the top of the show. Lasted more than 3 minutes with Moose. We were putting over Matthew Palmer and his time in the industry. 15 years. He did an interview backstage. Now, here's the thing, Matthew Palmer. he goes back there. He's being interviewed by the young lady, and he cuts the most indie wrestling promo. He threw every freaking wrestling term out there, from triumphant to victorious. But it came off so cheesy. I said to myself, shit, he should do all his promos that way.
I agree.
He should be
he should be Mr. Wrestling trope.
Mr. Indie wrestler.
No, I think he should just be Mr. Wrestling, like cliche. Like every cliche thing that's ever done, like and start selling it hard. But I don't know if that was them giving him the promo or him being an indie guy first getting on TV, and he's just gonna do what's said. I'm sure they gave him all that, but it wasn't pushed to be Mr. Cliche. It was just a cliche wrestling thing, and he was looking right at the interviewer. The whole time he was engaged, trying to do as much as he could with it. But that doesn't really matter because he's about to walk into the Lions Den.
Here's the thing. There was a point where I forgot what question she asked him, and he actually did the whole hand on the chin contemplate look. Like, and it's just like, it was so over the top that I loved it. It was so terrible that I loved it. And if anybody's listening right now, Impact Wrestling, we know you are. We know you're watching right now, Stooges. Listen. Grab that kid, and I would say go with our idea. I think it would really work for him and help him build some type of character moving forward.
All he's got to do is do a 90-second promo and get beat in 3 minutes.
Absolutely. He could be that guy that every time he gets beat, he uses all the cheesy wrestling terminology to explain how he's not down and out, and how he's gonna kick out, and all this other shit, all this other dumb wrestling shit that people have.
Who would you have fuck him up on the regular? I would go with Brian Myers.
Have him. I mean, I would put him in this. Well, first, I would continue to have him in the ring with Moose, and have just this kid bump all over.
We gotta go Willie Mack and Moose, because that's the business. Right. So to get him over, we got to get that character over, which means he's got a promo, get beat, promo again, and he needs to get beat quick. Brian Myers is a professional who was a job guy for a shit ton of years, and now is going to be on top, and he's going to fucking kick the shit out of this kid left and right until finally he reaches down one day and pulls the kid up and starts schooling him. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. I was just trying to think of other opponents if you had any other ideas.
I really don't.
This is it right here. This is good. I mean, Buckshot Kid's got it. Impact version of Mikey Whipwreck.
Perfect.
And we haven't seen that in a long time.
But listen, Ben, something that we've seen often, and it is the main event: Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan. Now, this was booked differently, because these two guys beat the living shit out of each other. Then, with about 4 minutes left in the night, the bell rings. So I'm like, wait, is this a fucking hardcore match? Like, what's going on here? No, the bell rings.
I mean, they weren't in the ring, so the bell doesn't ring. So we're putting over the rules that until both guys are in the ring, it's not official. On the outside, we can get all the hardcore shit in because the match hasn't started, and we know this feud's been going on a long time. So we're at violence after we've had wrestling. A very good booking choice to save your violence till the very end. And then they finally go at it and go in it, but nobody cares about a match because we've seen these guys go at it. The violence shows us the backstory of how much they hate each other, with commentary putting it over. Match doesn't mean much until Eddie's going crazy and gets the bat at the end. Sammy starts powdering away, pussying off up the fucking ramp. And before this too, we saw Sammy and the hacker with all the computer screens around. Very good promo. But that's Sammy. That's all Sammy knows how to do is good. And then holds up the phone, hits the button. We go into the hacker thing again, and we see Alicia, captive and locked in like a locker type place, storage unit. Thank you. And that sends Eddie on a chase through this whole thing. He must know right where that is because he runs right to it. And we're like, as soon as he gets there, she says, "It's a trap, Eddie," and fucking whack, out comes Shamrock, blast him, looks super real. beat the fuck out of him, and then Sammy shows up and they get heat on him, man. Really good cliffhanger setup finish to what's going to happen next week. You know what I mean? Some good stuff.
Listen, I'm not going to watch. I may watch Genesis. I may not, but definitely Hard to Kill. I'm looking forward to that because, the X Division tournament is cool and all, but it is what it is. I think for all you New Japan Pro Wrestling fans out there, I think this will be your cup of tea. And we can probably preview the pay-per-view next week and give our guesses.
Well, you got, you're going to have more with Deaners and Rhino and Cousin Jake. Obviously, this isn't over with Ace Austin in Fulton and what they're going to do to come back on Crazy Steve. We got the setup with Moose and Willie Mack is going to go good. Taya is probably going to do good biz for Deanna on her way out, or else it'll cross over into Rosemary stuff. We also had a Rosemary promo with Tennille Dashwood coming in, and this was Tennille Dashwood's best thing I've ever seen her in. She was more natural, laid back, not trying to push the big supermodel thing. There was references to it, but here we had two worlds, the Bizarro world and the modeling world crossing, and it worked. So with Taya on her way out, they're setting up Tennille to come in and fill that void in the Odd Couple with them. So there's a lot of good little inside character things. What did we open the show with? Oh, we also got to close the show. Go ahead.
I was going to say we missed something huge.
Yeah, we got Ethan Page on his way out, also with his alter ego Karate Man, and we have a psychologist scene setting up for a match where Karate Man calls out Ethan Page for being a pussy, which I kind of like. And, it's actually his ego talking to his soft side. So we're going to get a cinematic match. And they did a great job with this, with Karate Man facing off Ethan Page in After Effects in a psychologist scene. But it'll be cool to see which way they go with the production on this.
We also missed out on a new character here in Impact Wrestling. It's not Su Yung. It's not Susie. It's Susan.
Why not?
Did you see that? So James Mitchell made a promise to Deanna and Gimmick Joanna, and he said, "Listen, she's not Susie anymore, or she's not Sue anymore."
What does Susan look like? Yeah.
What's that?
What do you think about Susan?
What do I think about Susan? What does she look like?
Yeah,
she's like a politician.
It'll be interesting, man. One other scene we kind of missed too, and I don't know why we're jumping all over because it's just coming back into my mind. But I was Rohit and Chris Bay backstage.
Oh yes.
That was kind of really wrestling too, bro. Like
with what's his face with Manic. Oh, I mean TJP. Tell me what's wrestling about it.
It was just kind of like, oh, bro, I'm coming back for my title at the pay-per-view. Oh, well, then we'll be even then. What? Like, we just don't talk to each other like that. You know what I mean? And there's another scene with Rich Swann and the guys as they walked past the security guy to go fight, go knock on the trailer for the Good Brothers and Omega, but they saw him coming and they beat him up from outside and just like really wrestling. Bro.
This is how we really end the show. We have Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers outside waiting. By the way, it was really cold outside and Kenny Omega's nipples were shooting right out in his face.
30 degrees. Omega's got to take his shirt off to fight, saying, "I'm on B12. Look at me."
I would have left the fucking shirt on, but it's neat. I would have wore a mock neck. But seriously, man, this was what we've been asking for. Kind of. We were like, well, how come nobody goes out and beats their ass while they're in the trailer? Well, they did, or they attempted to, but no. Kenny and the Good Brothers go over strong here. So, listen, I think if you think about this show, think about this, Ben. Technically, this show, it's a 2-hour show, but it's really about an hour and 25 minutes long with commercial breaks, without commercial breaks. Mm-hmm. So much business was done. So many different segments. You had 2 new characters being pushed, technically, in Karate Man, and also now we have Susan.
He's a free agent, bro. He's a new character. He's doing business on the way out, and they're letting him do it because he did such a good job for him. I don't know if he's going back to WWE or he's going to AEW or not, but this is his swan song on the way out. You're not going to get Karate Man on AEW a bunch, you know, like this is just something they're letting him do.
Well, all I'm saying is that I see people who don't watch Impact, who just listen to the Impact Attack, which we really appreciate it, but you're missing out. There was a lot of great stuff. Like this is my favorite wrestling show of the week. It is what every single week.
Well, when you have Raw switching out the main character in the finish and chopping off the front end for a 30-minute improv seg where they don't pay off the fucking Fiend lighting Alexa on fire, it's not hard to, not that Impact's doing a bad job, it's not hard to beat the dog shit show that they got going on over at WWE. There's no doubt about that.
Did you see how WWE fucked up the end of Monday Night Raw, the Legend show?
Oh yeah, dude. They push him down and they didn't have the go home. They just cut to Steve Austin. The whole show was a fuck. You guys gotta, if you're a Russo brand subscriber, I break down the whole postulate of what I think happened on Monday at about 2 p.m. And that is what dictates what happened on Raw. And when you hear it, you'll understand from a McMahon point of view exactly what I think 99% went down in that way.
First, I gotta say this. Bill Goldberg would be the only dumb fuck to, I think, almost really hurt somebody by pushing him down. Like, dude, seriously? Like, he's such a fucking goon.
Why would you even have that spot? I mean, you got to listen to the Raw and SmackDown review because that was Randy's spot that built a thread through the show. And in the afternoon, Vince said, no, I want Drew in there. So it's like watching a whole movie. And they did this in, have you ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they make the fucking remake of, what's the Lethal Weapon? They make Lethal Weapon 5. Fucking, they have each of them acting. And then towards the end of the scene, they switch the black guy, white guy character dynamic. That's what they did on Raw. They built the whole show around Orton, and then Vince goes, you know what? I want Goldberg versus Drew at Royal Rumble. Well, this whole thing is set to pay off with Randy in the end of the show. I don't give a fuck. They're not going to know any better. So they switched Randy's character for Drew, switched the main events, and now Goldberg, who should be talking to Randy based on everything we saw, is now fucking shooting on Drew that way and pushes him down because Vince wanted the 11th hour, and nobody in the writing staff goes, you old crazy motherfucker. Do you even know what script continuity is? No, we're not doing that. No, we'll all look stupid. No. Instead, they go, sure thing, boss. Best fucking idea ever. And that's why you get the complete dog shit that you got at the end of the Raw.
Not only that, but they I had to go to YouTube to see what happened, because they cut so quickly after Goldberg basically pushed this fucking guy down. I don't think that push was even in the script. I think Goldberg shot on him,
dude, and that shows how stupid Goldberg is. Even if it got switched, you don't push the top babyface down and set him on his ass, bro.
Dude, and then they go off the air. They didn't have enough time, because I noticed something.
Right to Steve Austin.
Drew was cutting a promo. And the promo, he was supposed to cut a promo, but they mistimed something where Goldberg's music hit super early. He rushed to the ring, pushed the dude down, which I don't think he was supposed to. And then if you go to YouTube, Drew got up hot.
Well, it was, I think the push was supposed to be there, but it's on Orton to be down and looking while all the fucking legends are laughing at him. That's what the scene was supposed to end, because Orton bullies all the legends all the way up through. Then Goldberg comes down after Vince switched the main event, which was supposed to be Jeff Hardy and RKO with the legends watching. All that would have been a beautiful show.
It would have made sense.
If they would have opened like they were supposed to with the cliffhanger of Alexa and fucking Fiend. Instead, Vince comes up with a promo that he thinks fixes it, where Randy goes, I just couldn't drop the match. And then Vince goes, all right, so instead of that, we're going to take New Day and Miz and Morrison. You go billboard the show, and then we'll have a holla holla match. And 27 minutes of bullshit instead of paying off what it should have been. Segment 2, we get to the murder, and it's total shit. In the end, it was supposed to be Keith Lee and fucking Drew in the semi-main, Jeff and fucking RKO in the main event. So when the legends come out, Goldberg does all that. It pays off on the push. Legends laugh at him after getting disrespected all night. That, the way I just laid it out, is a pretty brilliant show front to back, taking care of last week's cliffhanger to that. But because a fucking insane old man thinks that Drew versus Goldberg is now the way to go at 2 p.m. on a Monday, the whole show gets fucked. All the continuity means nothing. We switch the semi-main and the main, and we switch out the actors to have the heat where Goldberg comes out and calls Drew a disrespectful motherfucker. Meanwhile, 2 hours before, Hogan's going, brother, you're just like me. You remind me of me. And they pose down and they're baby facing. No continuity, no sense whatsoever, because a bunch of yes men didn't go, fuck you, you crazy old fucker. Look at what you are doing and ruining the show right now by making that choice.
It made no sense at all.
It makes perfect sense, though, when I lay it out like that, doesn't it?
No, it does
You
make
see
sense.
the whole order of events to total retardation.
It makes total sense, but anyway, look, we're talking about Monday Night Raw. That's for another show. That's the Wednesday lock.
Off on the Raw and SmackDown review today on Russo's brand. I lay it out even harder than that.
I cannot wait to listen to Strangler, Billy Ray, and the Andrew Bell. Hey, by the way, I got to tell you as we signing off now, dude, what a fucking class act by you.
What's that, pal?
No, dude, it's the fans voted. Okay, and again, I am
over 700 votes, man.
I'm just saying, yeah, 700. We're gonna figure this shit out. We're gonna confiscate those cell phones. They were thrown in the river, but guess what?
Yeah, you better get a net.
Well, it is what it is. But I like what you did, and I don't think you gave the Wednesday locker room any win. Those guys deserved it. I honestly feel, Ben. Look, I love the Conspiracy Horsemen. I love our show. I love all the shows here, but I genuinely do feel that, in my humble opinion, the Wednesday locker room is the best show on the network. And
it's the heart and soul of Hamin Media Group. It's unsung. Sure, with the content the Conspiracy Horsemen put up, we get the biggest numbers, and we have star power draw over, some other names on the brand. That's fine. And what we're talking about is topical and in the cut. But when you're talking about the lifeblood that pumps through Hamin Media Group community, it exists on the Wednesday locker room, whether it's Strangler Steve gifts and doing shout outs, whether it's those three guys meeting up in New York City to hang out and show belts and just have a good time. Bello doing all the intros and those guys feeling good off of each other. That's all grade A stuff. And I have no problem pulling the Russo swerve and giving the Wednesday locker room the absolute nod and respect that they deserve for being one of my favorite shows here at Hamin Media Group, dude. So as Conspiracy Horseman winner of the year and Horseman of the year, and also Conspiracy Horseman show of the year, I felt no shame at all. And it wasn't any like, oh, throw them a bone. Those guys are fucking great on the Wednesday locker room. You need to listen.
And I have to put over Ted, Dr. Ted. I don't know if you're gonna listen to this. You probably won't. You're so busy. If it gets back to Ted, I would appreciate it. But Ted should have won. Well, he won 2 awards, and those were so well earned. Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy has done so fucking much in such a short time, and I genuinely love the guy. I think he's a fantastic addition. And I want to throw out a name that I don't know if you guys are even listening to the podcast as much, but go check out the Rat Turtles review. The RTW podcast.
Great, man.
It's some of the best podcast production on our platform, and he is an absolute pro. And I think you would really enjoy the interviews. Go back and check out his interview with Big Vito. He just put it up. And speaking of Big Vito, me and Big Vito are going to chat a little later on today. And I am looking forward, Ben, the New York connection. I'm looking forward to working with Big Vito.
Yeah, man. I am too, dude. It's just been so great, Ray, you and I, from 5, going on 6 years ago. And the labor of love is now turning into a business model that will provide a future, not just for Hamin Media Group and our producers to be able to earn a little bit and keep continuing labor of love, but also to help develop these brands of these stars that have a lot of value and deserve to keep being creative. And they shouldn't have to do that at the behest of a wrestling company saying you have 6 minutes to be creative in the way we want you to. Sure, we love that addiction, but these minds have so much more to offer. So I'm excited to see all the content. And Vito's talking a game show, which is a very cool concept. We also have what is it? Lock Up Your Love on Goldilocks. She's doing like a dating game thing now. There's so many things that these personalities can do outside of wrestling and show you that, hey, you want to host Pictionary night, I can fucking do that better than 90%. You want to watch fail clips, I'll fucking host those too, and you know what I mean, and laugh at them. So but whether it's Botchamania, our own version, or what have you, I think we can enhance everything that's out there, and the sky's the limit creativity wise, man, with you guys.
Well, just always remember, ladies and gentlemen, it takes a real man. It takes a real tough man to wear a dress. Should I do my eyebrows too?
I wouldn't shine them. Well, get beauty tips from him. See what he does. You never know. Mine are control, absolutely. So
he puts over that. He gets his eyebrows done. The guy looks fucking like he's 20 years younger. What the fuck?
You got to look good when you're making collections, baby. But appreciate it, man. I got to hop off here and do my local social medias. Good to be back with Big Ray for Hard to Kill, man. I thought they billboarded this pay-per-view very well. The T-shirts, the promos all pushed it. I think the marketing side of Impact is definitely stepping up. Their graphics look great, and their storylines are always the best. There's no doubt about that right now. Unfortunately, I wish it was driving the competition to do a better job, but it's not. So we'll be in the cut here, man. Anything else, Big Ray, you got it locked down for today?
No, dude, just follow me on social media, guys. I'm at Big Ray Hernandez on Twitter, on Instagram. Find me on Facebook at Raymond Big Ray Hernandez. Guys, I just implore you again to go back and listen to the shows that I put over just a couple of seconds ago, and send messages to Dr. Ted. Let him know that how much you love him, how much you appreciate him. Give some support to Rad Rob. Let him know, and all the other shows, man. Let the Wednesday Locker Room know how much we absolutely love these guys and love each other, guys. Like I said at the top of the show,
we're lighting the fuse on Thursday with the Chris Silvio, another phenomenal talent to come to HMG. I definitely could have won Rookie of the Year as well there with the Chris Silvio, man. So just awesome stuff going on.
Like I said at the top of the show, whenever you're given the opportunity to help somebody, do it, because you never know. Exactly. Good things come around. Anyway, Ben, we're out of here, brother. Y'all, thank you so much. I always say this, Ben. I would do this for a living, but if I couldn't, I'd do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. I love talking with you every week, Ben.
I do to you as well, Ray. And you know where it is, at Ben_Hamin, at Hamin Media Group. And we'll see you, infidels, at the matches. Yalla.